Hello and welcome to the second part of this series, and here we are continuing to the last one, and now we are going for the sorting options. So before to that, if you're new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, just click on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. One small corrections on my previous video is about the export option. So basically the export option is not available in the desktop version, it is available only on the Power BI service version. If you see here on Power BI service, you can see these export options. So we'll also go into detail about this in the later part of this video. But before to that, I want to cover this pending point which is from the previous video. So here on the Trellis, we have other two options. One is scale rows and then the rank panels. So if I click on scale rows, so here it says about the displays scroll by default and the column how you want here, the three columns, and the y-axis to be available on all this one. So if I click on apply here, basically this will automatically sort all these visuals based on the high value here. If you see this, Canon is 8.4, Samsung is 6.3, Nikon is 4.4 and Sony is 4, and Audi is like this. So if you want to add average panel, so it will combine all these things and then it will add a new panel at the bottom at the end of these trellis. So this is about the scale rows, and this is about the rank panels. If you select this one, here also we have default display to be scroll, and the column we can set up here. I don't need this average here, and if I click on apply, this will basically creates a rank panel, which basically it gives about how many columns you can add here based on the value here. If you want to reduce it further, 2 columns, then this brings up like this, 1, 2. Actually, if you see in the diagram, it goes like this itself, like a steps here, 1, 2 and 3, and then 4, 5 and 6. So if I close this one, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so whereas in the scale rows, it actually goes from left to right and then bottom. So here if you see this one, this is the first, second, third and fourth, fifth. So this is what about the trellis here. So here if I click on these options, the sorting, it has about the category sorting and group sorting. So category is basically, it is by default now, and it is sorted by the AC. AC is basically the sum of amount, and it is sorted by default here. If I click on ascending, then this just convert this into a small to the highest value instead of the highest to the lowest value here. Okay, so now if you don't need that also, then if you want to sort this by category, if I click here, then this actually convert this into sorting by year here, ascending now. So 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this actually makes sense to analyze the data by year basis here. If you just convert this sort by into actual, which is basically this one, then this just actually interchange the year between these categories here. Here 2013 and here 2013, but here 2015, but here 2016, and here 2016, here 2014. So that actually makes confusion. So for this, I think the category should be good. Based on this, it has to do the sales here. And here the grouping of this one. Category is nothing but inside to this one, and the group is actually the layout of this one. So this is basically what is the highest sales on the category. The Canon is 8.4 is showing up the first here. If you want to just make it descending, not ascending. So if you want to make ascending instead of descending, and if you click here, the audio will come first and it goes in a reverse way. So if you want to make the changes instead of value, if you want to compare this with alphabetic order based on the category, then also you can do that. It will just convert into Audi, and then what the next thing is Canon, Nikon, Samsung and Sony. So that's the use of sorting here. So I just want to convert this into previous one and descending. This actually looks good. So now we have the highest, lowest, lowest and then lowest, and the year is also by sequence order, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. Okay, so moving on, the next is the top end. So if you click here, so we have options about the category. So we want to show it on the off here right now. If you want to top 5 category I want, or top 1 category I need. So I just want, as this is we have only 5, so I just want to make it as the top 1 category. by sales amount. So that's what I added here. If you are adding multiple values here, then it will show up AC1, AC2, AC3, which is basically the sum of amount, quantity, and the sequence of whatever the value you are adding up here. So again, if you just want to show up 1, then you can click on apply here. It will just give you this 1 based on each and every category. So every year, the 2012 is the highest year. So it's showing up here. And here, what about the remaining values? So show remaining items as others, category plus count, and remaining item color. If you want to show it in a different color, then you can also make use of that. So if I just want to click here and click apply. So the remaining 5 years, other years equal to 5, which is basically 2013, 14, 15, 16 and 17. So everything which can go up here, it comes under the others category. So this is actually a good way of doing a top 5 and others, top 5 and others, right? So I made a separate video on that, how you can do that using DAX, but this is actually really cool thing here. So that's one thing. And this is actually about inside the category, right? And what about the trellis? So if you want to do that, then also you can make use of that. And before to that, so here we have top, but here we have option of top and bottom. So I want to show top 1 and bottom 1, and remaining to be shows as this value. If I click on apply now, then 2012 is highest here and 2013 is the lowest one, and remaining 4 years is this one. So this is really cool thing to analyze the data. And if I go back again, let me turn this off here and apply. So we are back to normal and clicking again on top end and in the trellis. So here, if we just keep this as a top and bottom 1 value, and based on this sales amount and the show remaining as category and count, and then click on apply, this actually gives this as Canon has the highest sales in category and Audi has the lowest sales in the category, and the other things like Sony, Samsung, everything comes together. This is in a separate visual. This is really cool thing. Okay, so if you just want to focus here, you can just click on the focus here, then it can give this value here. This is also good one. And if I want to tell you one thing about this multi drill through, and if I just click on this, and what else we have it here, let's assume I'm going to add the group here as a product name, and forget about this top end. Let's this to be turned off. Yeah, so this is actually going further down here. If I clear this one and remove this top end again to be turned off and click up, we are back to normal now. And now I'm adding a product name here. So it's adding up the group category between this here, right? So product category and then group. So now we have different groups here. And if you see, we are scrolling it down to the Samsung, Nikon, Sony. So what are the groups we have? Everything is showing up here about the sales value. And I'm removing this now for an example. And if I add order type here, so purchase sales, in Canon we have 2, in Samsung we have 2, and in Sony we have 2. This looks cool. So how many purchase and sales here? So if I do the same thing as the order type on the axis basically, then you see there is one option which comes up here to drill down. So let's take an example of Samsung. If I just click on this bigger one, if I just expand this, it will just expand to Samsung. And if I click on drill down here, it just goes inside to the Samsung. It just drill down and gives me about the purchase and sales, purchase and sales, purchase and sales based on the year. This is really cool thing. If I just want to switch it back, or the sorting, which you can do it here, and if I just want to go back, I can just close this window here. And here also we have multiple options here. So basically they are actually developing a thing of we can export this particular visuals state of this what we are looking at in future. So here when I click on this one, it just brings up here, right? And if I just want to highlight this one particular thing, then I can click here, it just brings up this data here. And if you want to move on to this one, which is Samsung 2016 and 1.4 million, and right now Samsung 2014 1.4 million. So this scrolls within this category level here. That's cool thing. And if you just want to do it inside the chart itself, you can just click on this particular thing then it can highlight you on this particular area, and you can just make scroll of this every other year. So whatever the axis you're adding up here, it shows up on the top here, which is Samsung 2017 and this is Samsung 2016. And if you want to go to a further level, then here is Canon 1.4, and if you want to do it for another thing, which is basically Samsung, every year it's showing up the value here. That's cool. Okay, so moving on, the next option which we have is the conditional formatting. So here we have formatting option about the value which you can make use of is negative, win or loss, or custom threshold. As we don't have any negative values here, we can make use of that if you need. So here we can make setting of all these things here. So this is just the same example, but I want to go for this one for the one before to this. So here we have the multiple color options which you can make use of it. If I click on these options, then it automatically converts these color scales beautifully. So the good part about this one is here we have also covered about this color blind features and also other things which is diverging, and also about the qualitative, everything we can make use of that. So this is really an important factor which they have considered for the color blind also, and we can make use of multiple colors, so it will be easy for everyone to read and understand things here. And about this one, this actually cool part, if I want to increase the further level, because right now 1 2 3 4 5 6 years I have, and here we have 5 band. If I want to increase it here, then it automatically increase the value here. If you see it here, it will add the colors here, and if I click on apply, then it will apply those colors to the chart here. See, it applies here. Okay, so this is basically the color scale you can add up here and applies to which value, and this is just the color scale and which is based on this value, and this is the color type, and this is everything here. Now if I click on back, it just adds those value here. This is the color scale, and this is what the new rules we have added here. And if I click on add new rule, and if we just kind of I want to make not color scale by rule, and which applies to this chart or chart background or the chart title. If I just want to be the chart background alone, then if I click on background, I can also add multiple. And what is the background color for this one? So right now we don't have a conditional like custom one using a measure, but we can make use of static one. So if the value is greater than, or if the category is something like, if you want to selection here, this is cool. So for Nikon, I want to highlight it particularly to this color, and click on apply. Then you can see it here on the chart, it just applied those rules here. So we have multiple options which you can make use of that to add this conditional formatting here. Okay, now moving on to the next one, which is annotation, which is the favorite part of storytelling. So here we have a 2.2 million sales. If you want to add any kind of annotation, you can just click here and then click on to this point. It just gives 1 point, and then we can make use of it. So if you want to mention some value, then you can use hash key or data point annotation. So this is good year sale. If you click on hash, then it just gives an option here, which is basically I want to highlight this here as Canon 2012 sales amount. So this also gives the same result here. Alright, I can make use of that hash key to add those values here. So this is here. If you want to add annotation, if I click here and click on this one, very low sale. Okay, that's it. So now here we have option of formatting. So if you click here, and you can hide all annotations at the go, or if you just click here, it will enable that. And here on the settings, but basically if you click on this one also, we have option of edit, delete, or settings. If I click here settings, it just brings up here. We can make annotation indicator, marker, and text, or floating text. So and we have option of stroke, how we want to do that, and the open arrow, and then none or dot here. So this is actually open arrow. So if you want to keep the arrow, then you can also make use of that. So it's just arrow here, closed arrow. If I go back here, for me open arrow is much better. Okay, the numbering here. So numbering, it gives a 1 2 here. If you want to convert this into ABC, then also it can do that. But 1 2 3, I used to prefer that. So what is the color of the numbering, background color, and what is the size of that? So click on here, save. So now we have these annotations here. If I click here and then go to settings, this also gives the same setting here. It's not applicable to only one single, it applies to everything here. So if I click here and apply these particular settings on this one and change to a different color, for an example, click on save. Yeah, we can also make use of that. Or if you want to make changes to everything, then also we can do it here. Let's give it a different color one and click on apply. So it's not applying actually. Once it is there, then we may need to add a new one, then it will apply the same color here. Okay, that's cool thing. So the last thing is about this. Let me just highlight all the annotations. Okay, now the next thing is about these deviations. So the deviation is auto by setup here, which is the percentage or the value or the both, which you can show up here, and the style is off. You want to highlight the background color or the border color or something else, or it's just about the arrow or bars or dot here. So let's do one thing for one visual. So let me remove this order type from here. Okay, now if I want to, instead of create your own custom range, first to last, actual and minimum to maximum. So if I click on minimum to maximum, we have multiple things here. If I click on apply, so this will just add up a comparison of this one, which gives here about the deviations of minimum to maximum here. Yeah, right now you can see this is a maximum on this one and this is a minimum one, which highlights here, and that's the difference between these two here. This is really cool thing. If I click back again here, so we have it here, and what is the value on percentage. If I click on apply, this also gives the value here. So both actually. So this is the percentage and this is the deviation value of this one, and style if you want to add up something else and click on apply, this gives as value. Show start indicator. If I click here, it just gives a dot here so that we can make use of that. So this is a cool thing about the deviations. We have the multiple options here which you can make use of that. So if you want to go in depth about this one and click on apply, this also gives the value about the previous to this, what is the difference between this one. So this is a cool thing. So other thing which we have it here is about the analytics. So if I click on this one, this actually gives option about to add a reference line, which is by default the average is added here. So if you want to add here, just click up add here, it will add up a new record, and then click on edit here. Then we can add all these kind of reference lines, how you want to do it here, vertical or horizontal. And in the vertical, then on which value you want to add the average line, you can see it on the graph, it's added here, and if you want to increase that level, then you can add up here. So the label, if you want to enable that, so what is the vertical line, and if you want to give it a name, you can also give it here. So this is basically, you can make use of that functions, and if you don't need that, then you can just click here, reference line, and then delete. And also here the good things about is reference band. If I click here, then it's add actually the average reference band here. If I click edit here, then it starts on 0 average, and also we have multiple options about this value, text value, and these things. This is added a reference band to this one. If I go back now and let me delete this here, and if you want to add a trend line, then also you can add a trend line here. So on seeing this, the sales is going down on all this category here year by year. Oh, that's a cool thing. And then if you want to add additional series, then also we can make use of that. If I enable this, then we have this option here. Let me just remove everything to avoid confusions. Let me also remove this one, and if you notice this here, the additional series, we have option of Pareto, running total, running average, percentage contribution. So if you click on running total also, you can make use of this analysis. So one single chart, and it has done a lot of thing here, right? So this really awesome thing which you can make use of this. And at the last, what we have it here at the settings is about the appearance and data label. So if you click on appearance here, we have orientation. If you want to make changes to this theme, then we can make use of it. And what is the color theme which you want to apply it here, we can apply the theme here. And about the start background and actual value colors which you want to apply, you can make use of that. If I click on dark theme for an example, click on apply, this converts the themes into a dark theme. I click on apply, yeah, it's applying here. If I click on the colorblind white here and click on apply, this will be helpful for them, and it's applying here. Yeah, this is applied here. So clicking on this one, and again if I click here and data label, so this will also give the value about the data label which is showing up here for minimum and maximum. We also have multiple options we can set up here, and value, limited, max, and all auto here. You can make use of all these settings here, and also about the position, how or where we need to set up that. So a lot of things here available here, but as this is in beta and this is recently released, so we don't have option here to export this into a PDF, CSV, and image. Hopefully they will add up very soon here before the general availability of this visual. So a lot of things here which you can make use of these visuals. I hope you also like this video about this series. If you like this video, just click on the big thumbs up button. If you are new to this channel, or if you haven't subscribed yet, just click on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. But make sure to turn on the notification on your devices. Share it with your friends and colleagues. If you have any queries and feedback, just post it on the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Keep learning. See you in the next video.